Welcome to this special edition of the Ultimate Combat Experience. I'm Mike, sitting with the Greasy Biker. We're out here in Elko, Nevada. We rode our bikes all the way out here, man. What a great ride.
Hey, excellent day. Anytime you can hop on the bikes and ride out to a fight, it doesn't get much better than that.
Oh, it doesn't. And we've got some fights going on tonight, too. A couple of little guys that I thought you took a bit of an interest in. These guys are little scrappers, the Espitia brothers. What do you know about them?
Well, you know, these two guys are tough guys. You know, if you got another brother that's fighting with you growing up, I mean, you got to have some talent there.
That's what I'm saying. We've been talking to some of the locals, and these guys are little, but they're like, everybody's afraid of them. So
yeah, I wouldn't want to tangle with the two of them.
You got to stick around for the main event, though, because Brad Johnson and Koffi Adzitso, these guys are both going places. I guarantee you one of these days you're going to see them in the big shows. You're seeing them right here on the Ultimate Combat tonight, though. It's the Ultimate Combat Experience coming right at you. I always love when we come out here to Elko. The crowd is amazing, and we always see some amazing fights and some guys that are always on the card. The Espetia brothers. Miguel Espetia making his way to the cage first. He's the older of the two, and I got to tell you, man, these guys have had a bit of a rough life. These guys they've been in a lot of street fights out here, and old Coach McLeod there is trying to get them on the straight and narrow and getting them into the cage rather than fighting out on the street. And so far they've had a tremendous amount of success. They're not the most refined fighters, but they're tough kids.
Yeah, I know this is going to be a great matchup with Robert Miller, another great fighter. Yeah. I think these two are going to go right at it.
Rob Miller has been around the fight show just a little bit. Interesting factoid about him. He's a polygamist. He comes from a polygamous family. His nickname is the Polygamist. I can only imagine what being married to several women, anger that must build up inside. I'm married to one woman, and I want to punch people in the face on the regular. I can only imagine being married to a whole bunch of them.
I bet he just spends the weekend at home right before a fight.
That makes your legs weak when you've got all that going on. All right, a touch of the gloves, and it looks like round number one going to be on your way right here. And Todd, I've never seen an MMA referee with a real striped shirt before. Like
that's very interesting. He must be really good at what he does.
He must really know the rules. All right, well, right. So Rob Miller trying to fill out, throwing a couple jabs there. He's got to step into those. You're missing by about 3 feet. You've got the reach advantage. Why not take advantage of it? But Rob Miller doing a good job. This is what he is good at. He's a wrestler. He's got a wrestling background, and it was a nice double leg takedown. Wound up in the guard of Miguel Espetia, though. Espetia trying to put that guillotine choke on. I'm not sure he's got it in deep enough. He's got to get that left foot up around the waist of Rob Miller in order to keep his hips down and get that guillotine on, but wasn't able to do so. And now Miller able to step over the top, and he's got full mount position. Espetia not willing to let go of the head, although he should. There's not a chance that he's going to get a submission when he's mounted like this. You just don't have enough pressure on the neck.
No, you're just setting it up for Miller to land those heavy left punches right to the ribs there.
Yeah, he's taking some big shots there, and Miller happy to dish him out. If you let go of the head, maybe you can prevent some of that from happening. But, this is kind of what happens when you get a street fighter that coming in the cage here. They kind of tend to want to grab that head. All right, Rob Miller able to get back to the back of Miguel Espetia, and he's got a rear naked choke. Looks like it's in pretty deep, Todd. I'm not so sure. Oh, okay, Espetia doing a good job of getting him off his back, and that choke never did come to fruition. Espetia posturing up now, and looks like he left an arm behind, but is able to get it out. All right, so here might be a little confusion here. Rob Miller used to fighting under Utah rules. I'm not so sure that he realizes we're in Nevada. This is not a Utah event that you can stand and strike in Nevada. In Utah, it's a rule that a standing striker has to go down to the ground before he strikes. So maybe a little confusion on the rules here, and we got things squared away and touch of the gloves, and they're back into the action.
Yeah, it almost seemed like Miller was just taking his time to get up because he was expecting not to get punched while he was down.
Right, yeah. Well, it's not going to work that way. And, look, guys, you travel outside of the state of Utah, you're out of your bubble, and you have to fight under the real MMA rules that most people have to fight under. Rob Miller doing a good job of getting another takedown here and passing guard, winding up in full mount position. Once again, has his head kind of stuck underneath there, though. It's kind of hard for him to mount an offense there from there. But it's certainly not going to, looks like looking for an armbar here. And Rob Miller wisely passing on that, noting that he'd have sat back into the cage if he'd have tried that armbar attempt there.
Yeah, Espetia doing a pretty good job on the bottom there, protecting himself.
Yeah, well, he's left an arm behind there. Good thing that Rob Miller doesn't know how to finish that. It looks like he's trying an Americana, doing it completely wrong. But, man, he had his arm bent in a really precarious way.
Big elbow to the face of Espetia.
Yeah, nice elbow, Rob Miller. Now he's looking for that armbar. He's got the room to get it on. He's got that thing stretched out. That thing is on tight, and a tap there from Miguel Espetia. But it looks like they're
saved by the bell.
Yeah, the bell rings right before Miguel Espetia tap. So he's going to live to fight another day, man. That was as close as they get. We got more when we come back. All right, folks, we're ready for round number 2. Boy, Miguel Espetia dodging a bullet toward the end of round number 1. He had an armbar put on. He tapped, actually, but it was just right after the bell, so he's back to fight in round number 2. It looks like he's coming out with a vengeance in this round. He's coming out strong, and he finds himself on top of Rob Miller now.
Well, he's got his second wind. He's after it now.
No doubt about it. He's fighting strong, but Rob Miller able to pull guard on him, and looks like he's got a pretty tight guard there. Miguel Espetia lifts him up off the ground and slams him. I love it. I love it.
So it's fun to see these guys come back. Saved by the bell.
Look at this right here, man. He is coming on strong. He is raining down punches on Rob Miller. Rob Miller not really able to defend. This fight is over. Wow, Wow, that is amazing. What an amazing comeback. Miguel Espetia half a second away from being defeated in round number 1, only to come back and win in a very impressive fashion in round number 2. Man, look, and Rob Miller, he was out. He was done. That is not a quick stoppage or anything. Looks like he may have hurt his knee. He's in some pain over there, but boy, oh boy, what an amazing turn of events.
That was awesome. He looked a little confused there.
Well,
Miller.
He is confused. He's been hit in the head quite a few times. And Miguel Espetia not waiting for the referee to tell him he's won. He's letting you know he's the champion in this one. And walking away with a big win for him. Congratulations. All right, we're going to go right into Juan Espetia. Juan Espetia, the younger brother of the two, coming out here, going up against a kid named Marcus Shelton. And now, once again, both these guys, they're kind of, when you watch them fight, you're going to see almost identical what you just saw a moment ago. Juan Espetia and Miguel Espetia, very, very much alike. Marcus Shelton, we don't know a whole lot about him. He's from out here in Elko. And normally what we do is we'll bring a guy from Salt Lake out to fight these Elko guys, but this kid from Elko decided he wanted to get in and fight one of the Espetia brothers. So Ethan Andrews is going to be your referee for this contest. And once again, Juan Espetia and a kid I've never seen before, Marcus Shelton, should be an interesting one.
You know, you got to wonder, some of these brother teams out there fighting, when you go up against one of them, what goes through your head? You know they're fighting all the time.
Oh, yeah, that is for sure. All right, a little bit of a, topsy-turvy start to this fight. Both guys coming out swinging for the fences. Both guys going a little bit bonkers. And, man, oh, man, this is what we came to watch.
This is a brawl.
Yeah, this is an absolute brawl. Juan Espetia trying to slow things down here a little bit. All right, I think we got all the piss and vinegar out of both these guys. They came out swinging for the fences. Now it's a hug fest going on. Espetia trying to get that takedown. It looks like he's finally able to get that. Puts Marcus Shelton on his back. And raining down that big right hand nonstop. It looks like he's taking a page out of his brother's book. He saw with his brother how he finished his fight. And he's looking to do the same here. He's not letting those legs get in his way. He's just going to continue to pound away at Marcus Shelton. And Shelton's got to do something here. There goes your rear naked choke. Yeah, there goes that rear naked choke. And that's in deep. That's in very deep. And there's your tap.
We are done.
Well, the Espetia brothers making very short work. Miguel having to make it into the second round. But Juan, man, getting it done real early in the first. And, boy, it doesn't look like Marcus is feeling so good.
Yeah, the Espetia brothers will have something to party about tonight, you know.
Yeah, they're going to definitely be tearing it up. And these guys do, man. They're pretty famous or infamous, however you want to put it, out here in Elko for doing their thing. And they're going to go out and have a good time. And, you know, understandably so. They earned it. And, you know, the first time we saw these guys, they didn't really understand position. They didn't really understand some of the nuances of fighting. They were just tough kids. And now you're seeing some progress, man. And we come out here once every 6 months or so. And this isn't just an incremental improvement. These guys made a vast improvement over the last time we saw them. So Juan Espetia getting it done tonight. Both brothers, congratulations. All right, we're going to shift gears a little bit. We had the little guys doing their thing. Now we got some big guys doing their thing. Dirk Hooiman, man, this kid is a specimen, no doubt about it.
He's a big guy going up against Jake
Islamovic. Jake's a big, strong kid too, but boy, I'll tell you that Dirk, man, he's just another level. He's come out and trained at my gym a time or two, and I'll tell you, they say he's as strong as it gets. You know, he's one of these corn-fed Elko boys that come out here and they put their work in, no doubt about it. And he looks it. He looks strong. All right, round number one on the way here, and a touch of the gloves, and here we go. Islamovic throwing a couple of lazy jabs, and boy, caught Dirk Hooiman a couple of times in the face. Hooiman wisely takes a shot and takes him down. Islamovic still punching away, but nothing with any sauce behind it. He's just kind of flailing, and boy, Hooiman, he's landing some shots from up top there. Doing a good job of maintaining position and picking his shots, staying patient, not trying to rush anything. Boy, I'll tell you what, Hooiman, pretty impressive thus far.
Yeah, Jake's doing a good job on the bottom there, moving around. He's, moving side to side, trying to stay away from those fists hailing down at him.
Yeah, he should too. Those are some big fists coming his way. He's been eating some big leather so far in this fight. Holman, and again, taking his time, doing a good job of being super patient, not wanting to rush into anything. And Jake's really kind of in panic mode, as well he should be. You got a big, strong kid like that on top of you. You gotta press the panic buttons and do something. Doing a good job of trying to keep Hooiman off, trying to sink something in. He's trying to keep him on his toes. But boy, these punches are going to take their toll before too long.
You know, both of these guys are, big, strong guys. You can tell just by their physique. You know, they're working really hard, getting in the gym. It's got to be tough when you come up against someone that can take you down like that. Dirk is really putting it to him. Yeah,
there's nothing more debilitating for you when you're one of those big, strong guys that are used to imposing their will on somebody. There's nothing more heart-wrenching than when somebody comes out and actually starts out-physicaling you. It really kind of takes your momentum away, kind of takes your confidence away, and now it just seems like Islamovic is just in survival mode. He realizes he's outmatched. He's got a kid that's just kind of ragdolled him. And now he's just trying to survive, and it's easier said than done. That is a super uncomfortable position right there. It's not going to submit a whole lot of really tough kids, but it's super uncomfortable, and those punches don't feel too good either. Hooiman really imposing his will on Islamovic right now, and Islamovic just trying to hang on.
Yeah, Jake is just struggling to stay out of the way of those punches hailing down at him.
Yeah, he's trying to pull Hooiman in to his body so he can, kind of tuck his head up against his chest, and that way you don't get a whole lot of leverage behind those punches. But Gosh, that's only going to last, it's going to only do so for so long before, those punches start to take their toll.
Well, these elbows aren't helping any.
Yeah, and the armbar attempt right here. He's got a nice armbar on. Look at Islamovic's toughing it out, though. He's not tapping, man. He's,
it almost looked like a pop there.
Looked like a pop, but what it did is his elbow popped out of the armbar, so that was kind of nice. It was fortunate for Islamovic. Looks like that's going to end the round. This is 2 fights in a row, or a couple of fights we've seen tonight where the armbar pops out just at the opportune moment.
Saved by the bell.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience, round 2 of 2 between Dirk Holman and Jake Islamovic in this middleweight division. Hooiman trying to get that takedown again. Boy, he really had Islamovic in a lot of trouble throughout that entire first round. Finished the round in an armbar that, boy, it looked like it almost popped Islamovic's arm right toward the bell there, but saved by the bell, as you mentioned, was Jake Islamovic. But Dirk Hooiman picking right up where he had left off, looking to finish this kid off. If Hooiman knew what he was doing, he's got an ankle lock on right there. He just doesn't know how to hook it. He's trying to do a pain compliance type submission rather than twisting on the ankle, and just didn't quite get it. Hooiman able to get out. Now he's inside control on his back, and Islamovic's in a lot of trouble just grasping at straws here.
The second round's looking just like the first round.
Looks exactly like the first round where Dirk Hooiman just out-physicaling Jake Islamovic. He's just too strong for him. I'm not so sure that he's that much more well-versed in what he's doing, but he's just so overpowering and so overwhelming that there you go. Islamovic's tapping to strikes, and you don't see that a whole lot, but he just said, I've had enough. I've been taking a beating for a round and a half, and I have no problem tapping. That's the cool thing about MMA. You can quit, and nobody's going to call you a coward, because the coward's the guy that never got in that cage to begin with. And I'll tell you that Jake Islamovic, you got my respect. That's a big, strong kid you fight here, and you took a ton of punishment, and look, hey, there's no shame in tapping out to that.
None at all. That was a great fight by the both of them.
And you look, Islamovic, he drove a long way. It's not right around the corner for these Salt Lake fighters to come all the way out to Elko and do their thing. And, I'm sure it's going to be a longer ride home than it was on the way out here after having lost that fight. But look, you lost a fight against a guy that looks like that. There's nothing to be ashamed about whatsoever. Don't hang your head, man. Keep it up there. Dirk Hooiman, I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of this kid. He's a good-looking kid, and got a ton of upside to him. And really, Coach McLeod has done a good job of getting this high desert hitman fight squad together, and he's got some pretty talented guys. These guys are, and I don't know where he gets them, but they all seem like they're chipped out of stone, and they're just tough as can be. And so anyway, we're going to see another one of these two guys come out here. Wade Garvey, he's another high desert hitman fighter going up against a guy that we've seen a time or two before.
Mike Crisman, back at it again. Love to see this guy in there.
Wasn't he in last week's show?
He was. I think he's in every week's show.
Before? He was in that show. Oh, man. Oh, he's in rare form tonight, buddy.
He's really exciting to watch come out right before the fight gets going. He's got so much energy, but then he gets focused. And
here's an interesting factoid about Mike Crisman. He drinks 2 beers before he enters the cage. He's always done that, and I don't have any problem with it. I think it helps him. It helps him relax. Is what it is,
Well, we're about to get going here,
but I think maybe he drank 2 Nevada beers this time. His way he was bouncing off
that's like
heads. Might be a little bit stronger alcohol. Yeah. So he's accustomed to fighting bigger, stronger looking guys. This is not new to him. This is not unfamiliar territory. The difference being here is Coach McLeod's very familiar with Sugarloaf and his abilities and his fight style, whereas we know nothing about this kid he's fighting here, Wade Garvey, other than he's with a pretty quality team, this high desert hitman crew. These guys, they bring it. That was a nice right hand over the top by Wade Garvey. Sugarloaf able to counter. Pretty measured approach by both of these guys to start off the first round, and that's not something we're used to seeing with Sugarloaf. He likes to come out firing, and he's being very patient here. What I don't like that he does is he plods around flat foot. He's got to get up on his toes a little bit, but doing a good job of planting his feet and throwing those shots. He landed a couple of shots right there to the point where Wade Garvey said, I better take this kid down. Those were some pretty strong punches.
Yeah, and Garvey's, from what I hear, he's got some pretty good ground game.
All these guys, they're all, well, look, Elko's a wrestling town. They're all wrestlers, and Coach McLeod, they call him Coach McLeod because he used to coach wrestling. He's a pretty good wrestler himself, and he's got these guys, they're just super good at wrestling. As far as their submission, they've got a little ways to come. Coach McLeod's not a submission expert, but you can see these guys, they understand position, they understand submission, they understand how to not be put in these precarious positions. They're just not all that well versed at applying submissions themselves.
You know, and Crisman doesn't really excel at
anything.
End of it. So it's got to be, hard to come up. You go against a guy like this Wade guy here, he knows that Mike's got some heavy hands. So what are you going to do? You're going to take him down and get away from those hands.
Yeah, good point. And looked like they're Ethan Andrews enforcing a Utah rule once again. You can't strike a down opponent when you're standing. We're not in Utah, Ethan's a Utah referee. The guy in the stripy shirt, he's a Nevada referee. Boy, that was a nice fake takedown. Really faked the shorts right off of Sugarloaf. Sugarloaf able to somehow wind up on top, though, but he really got faked out right there for a minute. Nice shots right there by the Sugarloaf. And he's able to get the back of Garvey. Nice work. Sugarloaf really doing some nice things tonight.
Well, I'm really surprised.
Yeah, well, I'm not shocked by it. He's getting better. And Mike, like I say, he's got a lot of losses on his record, but he's fought a lot of tough guys. He's fought a lot of really tough guys. So, his record is not necessarily indicative of his abilities. A guy like this, a guy like Garvey that looks like he's not necessarily a newcomer. He's got some, wrestling base and that kind of stuff. Sugarloaf matches up well against him just out of his sheer toughness. He's a kid that's tough enough to hang with just about anybody.
Yeah, this is a great match.
Good stuff. Sugarloaf trying to get the back of Garvey. Garvey able to not let him. Postured up just a little bit. And now he's stepping over into full mount on Sugarloaf. What a back and forth fight this has been.
These guys are scrambling.
Good scramble stuff, absolutely, Mike. There, getting the nice underhook right there. See, that's something Mike never would have done in the past. That underhook right there, very heady move. That's going to bring the first round to a conclusion. We got round number 2 when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. Mike Crisman, the Sugarloaf, going up against Wade Garvey of Elko and the High Desert Hitmen. They had an amazing first round, back and forth action. Both guys getting their licks in. Both guys doing a great job, both offensively and defensively. Garvey able to come out and secure a takedown to start off round number 2.
Sugarloaf, very impressive in the first round.
He was very impressive, and he's doing a pretty good job right here, keeping Garvey in his guard and not allowing him to posture up and pound away at him. And Mike doing a good job of defending, I think he's looking for a shoulder choke right here. Absolutely. There's that arm triangle he's trying to get on. Wasn't quite able to get it, but I like to see the fact that he was looking for it. This is, again, that's the evolution of Sugarloaf, something he didn't even know about not too terribly long ago, and he gave it a valiant effort right there. Able to get back up on his feet is Sugarloaf and lands a big right hand once he does get there that buckled the knees of Wade Garvey, and Garvey back down on his knees trying to get a takedown. Sugarloaf got a standing guillotine on here, and that's it. That's going to do it. Wow, Sugarloaf submitted somebody. Listen, Sugarloaf,
that's a happy guy right
Sugarloaf there. Winning a fight is one thing. Sugarloaf submitting someone is... You better watch yourself because the world is going to end soon. The sky is going to come caving in. He's pretty happy about that one, and I don't blame him, man. That's something that I'm happy for him. That was an impressive victory for Sugarloaf. You can see Coach McLeod not one bit happy about it. You don't like your guy losing to the Shugs, but it happens sometimes. Mike coming away with a big win.
Yeah, one of the more impressive fights.
I just remembered that I told him if he wins this fight, I'm going to take him to one of those, those houses with the red light on them out here in Elko.
That's why he's so happy.
Well, no wonder he's bouncing off the walls, right? He's going to go to one of those cool houses. I hear they have amazing customer service there. All right, let's shift gears into the little teeny tiny guys once again. Chris Jernigan. This kid is a good-looking kid. He is tough as nails going up against Josh Delemark. These guys only weigh about $125, and Jernigan, he's good. He's really, really good. Josh Delemark's got a wrestling base, wrestling background, been around for a little while. He's in amazing shape. He's in great condition, but he's just nowhere near the fighter that Chris Jernigan is. Jernigan's got it all. He's a great wrestler. I think he's a state champion out here. Got good hands. He's got good submission. He's got a really well-rounded repertoire. And I think you're going to see Josh Delemark in a little bit of trouble today. All right, round number one, about ready to get things started right here. Josh Delemark, Chris Jernigan, about ready to mix it up. And you can see Jernigan wants nothing to do with that glove tap right there. He says, you know, I've seen too many crave. Nice job, Josh Delemark coming out with a big right kick to the leg, puts Jernigan on his backside. Jernigan taking exception to that, coming out swinging. Nice start to this fight. Both guys coming out swinging for the fences. Delemark landing a few of those big shots.
Yeah, they weren't leaving anything hanging out there. Both right at it. Very exciting.
Yeah, Josh Delemark still looking for that submission, but, you know, his opponent able to thwart that off there. Jernigan, I couldn't think of his name for a minute there. Jernigan able to thwart it off and get around to the backside, got his back now, and now with those long arms and those long legs and the submission background that Jernigan's got, I'll be surprised if Delemark's able to pull himself out of there. Doing a good job of covering up and fending off the rear naked choke thus far, but there's a lot of time left in this round, and you got a kid with the capabilities of Chris Jernigan. You're going to have a hard time fighting him off.
Yeah, both great athletes. I think they're both in this one for the long haul.
Well, I don't. They're both in here to try to get to the long haul. It's just a bad spot, and I'm not sure. I think that was it. Was that a tap right there? Yeah. All right, he tapped. So Chris Jernigan getting a big win over Josh Delemark with the rear naked. And Delemark's out of here. He just walked out of the cage. Says, I don't want to not only shake hands, I don't want to do any of that crap. I'm out of here. He was able to be coaxed back in by his coaches, but man, you know, it's kind of got to be a little bit disappointing for him. He thought he could come in and do his thing with Chris Jernigan. I knew Jernigan's a tough kid. I knew that was a tough matchup for Josh Delemark. Jernigan looks like he's not even happy about getting a win. He's upset about how long it took.
Well, finishing the first round, that's another first rounder for us.
Yeah, that's another first rounder. And once again, Chris Jernigan's a kid that I think you're going to see a little bit more of. He's a tough kid. I hope he didn't lose those teeth in this fight here tonight. Good old Josh Delemark. Jernigan's getting coached. That's the coach, man. The coach never stops coaching. Over there, you just got a big win, but you're going to still coach him some more anyway. As we said, there's no question on this one. Josh Delemark came out, gave it a valiant effort, but Chris Jernigan, he's your winner. Congratulations. All right, we've had the little guys, we've had the big guys, then we got a couple medium guys coming out here. Kenny Marzola, Willis Ferguson. I guess if you want to call him medium. These guys are raring to go, buddy. These guys are raring to go. Kenny Marzola on the left there with the tattoos on his arm. Willis Ferguson on the right. Willis Ferguson, a two-time state champion out here at Elko in wrestling. Very, very good wrestler. Kenny Marzola coming all the way up from Las Vegas. He's got some of the big-time Vegas crew coming up here with him. Good-looking kid. He's got a ton of potential. They think they're going to see him in the big shows one of these days. But I'll tell you what, these guys from Elko think you're going to see Willis Ferguson in the big shows one of these days. Both these guys look very, very good. You're not going to see a whole lot of flailing and head grabbing and that kind of stuff here. You're going to see some pretty good fights. Marzola able to secure that initial takedown. It's like Ferguson was trying to get his arm off, but there wasn't able to. Back up on their feet they go. And out comes Willis Ferguson with a nice leg kick and a right hand over the top.
Yeah, this is another really good matchup.
No, this is a great matchup, and it's a matchup that is not only great from their skill level perspective, but these are two guys that both have, they're both well evenly matched. Marzola landing a big combination, about a 5-6 punch combination before they broke up right there, and I think that might have rung the bell a little bit of Willis Ferguson. He slowed his pace down just a little bit, not coming in quite as aggressively. Even though he's the bigger kid, he's got a bigger, longer kid, I should say. He's got reach advantage, but he seems to be. Whoa! Nice right hand right down the pipe, and a nice knee to follow. Boy, I tell you what, this Kenny Marzola has got a lot of really accurate striking, and he's throwing a bunch of different stuff.
I think Ferguson's a little shaken up here.
He is. We've seen him fight before, and he's usually far more aggressive, but he's been stung a couple of times here, and you see a little blood trickling down over his left eye. He's been stung a few times, getting stung a few more times right here. Marzola's got an amazing right hand.
That kid is quick.
Quick and accurate, nice footwork, all the tools. This kid has got all the fundamentals I love to see. He's bouncing off his toes. He's not standing flat foot. He's working, moving really, really nicely.
Yeah, looking very confident, just picking Ferguson apart here.
Yeah, this Willis Ferguson, he's a hometown hero. He's the guy that, a lot of people here in the arena are shocked right now because he's used to mowing through people. And, boy, he ran up against the buzzsaw here in Marzola. Marzola really he knows his stuff.
Yeah, Ferguson a little slow there.
Yeah,
his
shot is usually lightning quick, and that was a little slow. I think he's just a little gun shy.
I think some of those.
He landed a big right hand of his own right there, putting Marzola up against the cage. So Ferguson landing his shot of his own.
Yeah, I think Ferguson's just a little shaken up by the flurry of fists there from Marzola.
Yeah. Landing another big right hand over the top, though, is Willis Ferguson. And this fight is turning out to be just what we thought it would be. Great fight, back and forth action. But I'll tell you, Ferguson looks like he's the one who's been taking the brunt of the punishment. Yeah, Ferguson usually works his jab. He's usually aggressive on his feet. I just think he's been stung a few times, and he's a little bit apprehensive about getting back within range of Marzola.
Yeah,
nice left kick.
Went down to the ground a little quicker.
I think Ferguson wishes that it would have, because he's an amazing wrestler. But it's easier said than done when you got to like Marzola with the great footwork that he's got. He's hard to take down. He's very elusive, and it's hard to get in deep enough to get that takedown.
Couple big right knees.
Good knee work by both guys. Not a whole lot of damage done by either, and a little foot stomp there by Ferguson. An attempt at a throw right there. And look, Marzola's got great hips. You've got a kid who's a 2-time state wrestling champion trying to do a hip throw on you, and you just hip out and able to stop that. Marzola's not just a good striker. He's got very good hip mastering and good inside game as well. Guy's starting to slow down just a little bit. Nice catch of the leg with the right hand down the pipe. I love that counter right there. And Marzola seemed to not hesitate one bit. Willis Ferguson not used to seeing his face like this. The fans here are shocked. You can see most of them with their jaws just dropped to their laps because they've never seen Ferguson even be tested, let alone bested like this. And Marzola able to get the takedown. Now here's a guy. Your 2-time state wrestling champion just got taken down by somebody. That's like watching Jesus fall through the water. It's just for these guys,
Yeah, I think some of those kicks and punches just took the wind right out of Ferguson's cell.
Yeah, Marzola doing a good job of continuing to pound away on the ground here. He's not going wild, but he's picking his shots, and when he does find an opening, he lands a big shot. Ferguson content on just trying to hold him close right now.
It looks like Ferguson's got a big bleeder above the left eye there.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good cut over there. A lot of blood coming out now and kind of making a bit of a mess here in the cage, but it's not stopping Marzola from continuing to pound away from within his guard. I would like to see Marzola try to pass guard here rather than pound away at from within the guard, but the bell's going to save us from seeing a couple of guys roll around on the ground for too much longer. We got more when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. We've got a heck of a fight going on for you. Kenny Marzola, Willis Ferguson in the middleweight division, mixing it up, and Marzola coming in and taking it to the hometown boy. Willis Ferguson used to beating people up here, and Marzola coming in from Las Vegas really taking it to him.
I'll tell you what, Mike, this has got to be quite the eye-opener for Ferguson. I think he was expecting to come into this ring. I know he knows his opponent, top kid, but
no, he had a lot of confidence coming into this, and you know, he's a good fighter. He's a talented fighter. Clearly not as experienced as Marzola. He's a kid that's used to really imposing his will on people, and you know, it just wasn't going to happen tonight with Marzola. Who knows if Marzola's got the conditioning and the stamina to keep it up? But boy, in that first round, Marzola really imposed his will.
Well, the accuracy with those shots and just the flurry. I mean, he's just keeping it coming.
Starting to back away a little bit, though. You see his chin dropping. You know, he's winded. He's starting to feel things a little bit now, and now he's getting back into that accurate striking, though.
Had a nice left there to the chin of Ferguson.
Nice takedown. Once again, your guy, who's the two-time state champion, taken down for a second time by Kenny Marzola. Marzola out, taking down the takedown artist. Marzola trying to trap that arm down underneath. Ferguson trying to pull guard. A little bit of a chess match going on here. I think Marzola, more than anything, trying to catch his wind just a little bit. Threw a nice right hand to the body right there. You could tell that hurt Willis Ferguson. Ferguson, once again, in unfamiliar territory. He's never been bested like this by somebody. And boy, Marzola right here, look at those little pity-pat shots that Ferguson's throwing, and look at those amazingly powerful shots Marzola's throwing.
He's got Ferguson pressed against the fence. He's having a hard time moving around there, but taking all those rights right to the ribs.
That's really starting to take a toll on Ferguson, you can tell. He's really putting it to him. Some elbows here for a good measure, and boy, we have not seen Willis Ferguson in this kind of situation before, and I'm sure he's
Marzola throwing some knees there. He just pin him right up against the fence and have his way with him.
He's keeping it on him, keeping the pressure on, not letting Willis Ferguson get too comfortable underneath there. You know, and Marzola, for that matter, this is a good place for him to get his win back. I mean, he's gone in bursts, and this is one of those down sides of the burst. He's getting his win back, and in a minute, I guarantee you're going to watch him. He's going to sit up and throw another big flurry. Yeah, I'm expecting that to happen. Hopefully it does.
Ferguson working his way around with his feet on the cage, doing everything he can to try and hook the head. Marzola there.
If you can't kick a down fighter in the head. If you're on the ground, you can't kick to the head, which is what Ethan Andrews is stepping in and letting Willis Ferguson know. You don't want to stop the fight because you don't want to disadvantage the top fighter, but it's illegal if the top guy can't do it, neither can the bottom guy, and so he was being admonished for that.
He's got his right arm locked up there.
Yeah, he sure does, and now
flurry.
He's landed those left hands to the face. And, I'll be interested to see how much more punishment either Willis Ferguson's willing to take or how much punishment referee Ethan Andrews is willing to watch. And I get a sense that that's going to do it right there. You saw Ethan kind of inching his way in there. And, it was a good stoppage. And Willis Ferguson, you can complain if you want. That was a good stoppage. That was, you got beat today. You got bested today. And you come back to fight another day. Hopefully, but yeah, you got beat by a kid that's just, plain and simply, he's better than you.
Yeah, two really good fighters. Excellent matchup between the two.
Oh, look, man, Willis Ferguson's got nothing to hang his head about. He's a tough kid. He'll come back. He'll be successful in this sport. But Kenny Marzola, my goodness, this kid's a good-looking kid, and he's going places. He's definitely somebody we want to keep an eye on, that's for sure. Go ahead and make this one official here. There you go. Kenny Marzola. He's your winner. TKO, second round. Referee stops the contest. Congratulations. Hopefully soon both these guys come back and do it. All right, it is time for your main event, and I got to tell you, Todd, this is a fight I've been waiting to see since we got here. I've been super excited about it. This Brad Johnson kid is a kid that Coach McLeod knew from his days wrestling back in Michigan. He recruited him, brought him out to Elko. He's kind of a ringer, if you will. Tough kid going up against a kid who trains at my gym. Another super tough kid. I'm excited about this. It hasn't been hatefully done so, but there's been a lot of animosity between the two because it's kind of a gym pride type situation where you're representing, you're the best of your gym, and Kofi's he's one of the better up and comers out of our gym, and so here we have it. We got a couple guys that are going to come out here and see what they got, man. It's the Combat Cartel against the High Desert Hitmen. Right out here in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight too. We got two great athletes here. Both have excellent ground game, standing game.
You can see Kofi is an athlete. There's no doubt about it. This kid he's from Africa. There's no lie. They call him Lionheart because he grew up around lions and all that other fun stuff. And he's a good-looking kid. I'm not so sure he's experienced enough to beat a Brad Johnson, but I'll tell you what, he's an athlete, and his confidence is through the roof. He wants this fight really badly. He's gonna give Brad Johnson a fight, that's for sure. Like I said, I think Brad's got him on experience, but what a great matchup.
Those High Desert guys have really brought some ground game this time. They usually do. Great coach out there.
They're amazing wrestlers. Kofi, I think, took second in state out in Salt Lake. He wrestled over there at Kearns High School. And it was interesting because he didn't wrestle until his senior year. So he had no wrestling background whatsoever. He tries out his senior year and he goes and he takes second in state. So that's the kind of athlete he is. He's beaten guys that have been wrestling all their lives and dang near took the state championship. He's a special kid. There's no doubt about it. But, Brad Johnson, MMA is a little different. You can't just kind of jump in and do that unless your name's John Jones. Nice left hook by Kofi. Another right hand by Kofi Adzitso to the point where Brad Johnson said, I'm taking this kid to the ground. Brad Johnson, a collegiate level wrestler. So, all collegiate level wrestlers, they're all state champions or close to it as well. So he wrestled in Michigan where there's, it's a solid wrestling part of the country. So he's no stranger to wrestling as well. This is a submission attempt right here. It's actually super uncomfortable. You can break somebody's ribs with it. It's tough to battle through, but Bradley Johnson's doing a good job of battling through it. And I think that Kofi may be, wearing his legs and his arms down with it. If you've been put in this, it's really, really uncomfortable. But
and there's no way to defend yourself when you're in it because if you commit,
the only
your
way
hands are wrapped up in your legs.
So the only way to defend for Brad Johnson is to continue to pound away, and that's exactly what he did there. He was able to wear Kofi out and not let him get that submission. Nice work. Now Brad Johnson passes the guard and gets the back of Kofi Adzitso. I'm not really sure what Kofi did right there. It looked like he just quit. He stopped fighting, and is that it? Wow, okay, Brad Johnson coming away with a big win. Once he got around behind Kofi, he sunk that in and got a rear naked choke. And really, once again,
finish.
It looked like Kofi quit. It looked like he had quit on the fight. Once he didn't get that submission, it was really kind of strange. But as I said, it's one of those submissions that takes it out of your arms, takes it out of your legs. You don't have a whole lot left. And, boy, Johnson acting like he just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well...
He beat Kofi. Kofi's only had 3 fights, I wouldn't be too super excited about beating him or Brad Johnson. Johnson's had about 20. So, I'd like to see these guys do this again one of these days. But Brad Johnson clearly bested Kofi tonight. And he's going to be out doing his thing here in Elko. And, Todd, I've had a great time out here in Elko, and the night just began. We're going to go out and see the town tonight and hopefully hang out with some of these High Desert Hitmen. They say they're going to show us around, and And, you know, Elko's a cool little town. I really enjoy myself out here.
I always have a good time when I come out, especially when we ride the motorcycles out.
Oh, buddy. It's
Doesn't get any better than that.
And it's going to be a great ride back, you know. I mean, it's been a great night of fights here. I've really enjoyed it, so it makes the trip home that much more fun. Bradley Johnson getting a big win tonight. Congratulations to all the High Desert Hitmen and the Combat Cartel coming out here and doing your thing in Elko. Todd, I tell you what, I guarantee you both those guys are still going places. I promise you, Kofi got beat tonight, but he's coming back.
I'll tell you what, Brad Johnson with that submission, I love watching that guy. He's got some great ground game.
Oh, he's got some amazing ground. He's got the whole package. He's good on his feet, and he's good on the ground, a great wrestler as well. Kofi's got all that too. Tonight, maybe just a bit of a speed bump, man, a learning experience for him, but I say both these guys, again, we'll see him doing some things.
Hey, who knows? We might see both these guys back in the ring
here.
Another
Maybe
night.
we'll get him going. All right, for the Greasy Biker, I'm Mike Stidham. We'll see you next week on the Ultimate Combat Experience.